Okay, Namaskaram, and welcome to the Heritage of India classes, Prabandhams and Stotrams. Today, we are going to complete our study of the tiruvAimozhi Padigam, anchiraiya, madanArAi. So what remains are just the following things. So we need to cover two of the Taniyans, tiruvAimozhi Taniyans, which we'll do that today. And we have the pAsuram from the tiruvAimozhi Padigam. So we will cover that today as well. And then we will also have a chance to chant the full Padigam. And when we are done with that, we will move on to the next topic, which I announced in an email to you. So as usual, we will start by chanting the Poduttaniyans. Now, before I do that, I want to, because of the Ramanuja Jayanti celebrations that have been happening, the actual Jayanti was a few days ago. I think when you chant the Poduttaniyan today, I would like you to chant this Poduttaniyan number 3 with a special fervor, because that is a salutation to Bhagavad Ramanuja. So I think I just want to refresh your memory about the meaning of that particular Taniyan, because we sometimes get so used to mechanically chanting the Puduttaniyans and the pAsurams that sometimes we don't get a chance to reflect on the meaning. We might even have forgotten that there was a Puduttaniyan in tribute to Bhagavad Ramanuja. So anyway, so this one, let me briefly summarize the meaning for you again. It's this Yo Nityam Achyuta Padambuja Yugma Rukma Vyamohadas Taditarani Trinayamene, etc. So it says a few things about Bhagavad Ramanuja. So it says Yo Nityam Achyuta Padambuja Yugma Rukma Vyamohata. So it says that he had Vyamoham. Moham is love, Vyamoham is great love. He had great love for whom? Achyutas, that is Bhagavans, Emperumans. Padambujam, Pada Ambujam, these lotus feet. Yugma Rukma, Rukma is golden, Yugma is a pair. So really a pair of golden lotus feet of Achyuta. On that, Bhagavad Ramanuja had very great love, Nityam, every day. So Yo means he who has great love or had great love every day for Achyuta's golden pair of lotus feet. So eventually it's going to say Ramanujasya Charano Sharanam Prapadye, to the lotus feet of that Bhagavad Ramanuja, I surrender. That's what it's going to say. And then it says a few other things about Bhagavad Ramanuja. It says that Itharani Trinaya Mene. Itharani means Idara Vishayangal, on the remaining things other than Achyuta's golden lotus feet. Itharani Trinaya Mene. He treated all the other things as turumbu, or just as a blade of grass. So that's how much disregard he had for anything other than Bhagavad Vishayam. And then Asmad Gurur, he is my guru. And he is a Bhagavatosya Dayaika Sindhoho. Sindhoho means ocean. Dayaika Sindhoho, that's an ocean of mercy. Bhagavatosya Dayaika Sindho, an ocean of divine mercy, or divine ocean of mercy. That's what he was. Because even when he, for example, composed the Sharanagati Gadyam, he asked for liberation, asked for moksham, not just for himself. He wanted it for all of his people, all of the Bhagavatas. So that shows the great dayagunam that he had. It was never about himself. It was also about all the Bhagavatas. So he surrendered on behalf of all the Bhagavatas. And you might have heard in stories that he was willing to flout some of the strict rules, the orthodox rules about sharing or teaching of various mantras with people, like the Ashtakshara mantra, for example. So he apparently famously said that if, as a result of that, he goes to hell, and all those other people that he taught those mantras to, if they go to moksham, then that would have been, that was fine with him. So that again shows the daya of this great Acharyan, and that's what this is referring to, Dayaika Sindhoho, Ramanujasya Charano Sharanam Prapadye. So when you recite this particular Taniyan today, I hope you will also be able to reflect on the meaning. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go start with the first Tanyan. Let me bring the audio recording. So keep yourself muted and chant along with this audio.
Ramanujadaya Patram Jnana Vairagya Bhushanam Srimad Venkatanatharyam Vande Vedanta Deshikam Lakshminatha Samarambham Nathayamuna Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Yo Nityamachyuta Padambuja Yugma Rukma Vyamohatastaditarani Trinaya Mene Asmad Guror Bhagavatosya Dayaika Sindho Ramanujasya Charanau Sharanam Prapadye Mata Pita Yuvatayasthanaya Vibhuti Sarvam Yadeva Niyamena madanArAi Adyasya Nakulapaterva Kulabhiramam Srimad Tadanghriyugalam Pranamami Mudna Bhutam Sarasya Mahadahvaya Bhattanata Shri Bhakti Sara Kulashekara Yogi Vahan Bhaktangrirenu Parakala Yatindra Mishran Srimad Parankusha Munim Pranatosmi Nityam.
Okay, good. So I think in addition to Bhagavat Ramanuja's Jayanti, I think Sri nammAzhvAr's Jayanti is also coming up, Vaikhasi Vishakam. So, I think at that time you will pay particular attention to this Tanyan, Mata Pita Yuvatayas Tanaya Vibhuti, Sarvam Yadeva Niyamena madanArAi Adhyasya Kulapate Vakulabhiramam Srimad Tadangri Yugalam Pranamami Mudna. So I think it's coming up in just about a week or so. I'll let you know. Okay. So anyway, now I'm going to go to the tiruvAimozhi Tanyangal. The glory of tiruvAimozhi is such that it has a very large number of Tanyans. We have taught you 4 of the 6 Tanyans. So we'll now go to the 5th and 6th Tanyans. And it so happens that the 5th Tanyan is also about Sri Ramanuja, Bhagavat Ramanuja, along with nammAzhvAr. So what it says is this. So it says a few things about both nammAzhvAr and Bhagavat Ramanuja. First of all, it says that there are these 1,000 pasurams of tiruvAimozhi. It's actually more like 1,100. So, and it's what it really says is that these 1,000 pasurams or 1,000 plus pasurams are about the glory of the Perumal in Sri Rangam, and that so they are the equivalent of Vedas. So that's the first thing that it says. Now you might wonder, so if it says that it's all about the Sri Rangam Perumal, does it mean that Sri nammAzhvAr has done only Mangala Shasanam of Sri Rangam Perumal? Actually, it's not the case that all the 1,100 pasurams are directly about Sri Rangam Perumal. They are about the various incarnations, including some of the Archavatarams or the Vigrahams of Emperuman. But to the extent that Sri Rangam Perumal is also an Archavataram of Emperuman, I think it's okay to say that the entire tiruvAimozhi is about the Sri Rangam Perumal. So you should take that with a grain of salt. It will say that it is the entire tiruvAimozhi is about the Sri Rangam Perumal, but you will understand that the entire tiruvAimozhi is about Emperuman, and of course Sri Rangam Perumal to the extent that he is an Archavataram of Emperuman. So it's also about him. So anyway, so that's the first thing that it says. But then it kind of makes a Devaki versus Yashoda distinction between Sri nammAzhvAr and Bhagavat Ramanuja. It will go on to say that Sri nammAzhvAr is the mother who gave birth to tiruvAimozhi, but the credit for bringing up tiruvAimozhi goes to Bhagavat Ramanuja. So it's just like what Sri Andal says, Orutti Mahanai Pirandu, Oriravil Orutti Mahanai Oruttu Valara. So there is one woman who gave birth to Sri Krishna, that is Devaki, of course, Orutti Mahanai Pirandu, and then Oruttu Mahanai Oruttu Valara. So there's other lady, Yashoda, who gets the chief credit for bringing up Lord Krishna. So I think that comparison is very significant in the sense that it gives a lot of credit to Bhagavat Ramanuja for the fact that tiruvAimozhi is a very well-grown child, a very well-grown child, because I think that credit should go primarily to Bhagavat Ramanuja. That is what this particular Tanyan is saying. So this Tanyan is written by Parasara Bhatta, who I believe is the son of Kuratarvan, who himself was a great disciple of Bhagavat Ramanuja. So let me first read the meaning of it. So it talks about the beauty of Sri Rangam. So the Sri Rangam is surrounded by ramparts, and it's also filled with sky-high gardens. Sky-high here refers to how tall the trees are in that garden. Sky-high garden-filled and ramparts surrounded Sri Rangam's lord. So that of course refers to as Ranganatha. Now on his wonderful glory, so it goes on to say that the tiruvAimozhi is about his wonderful glory. So on his wonderful glory, the splendid Tamil Veda verses, referring to the tiruvAimozhi verses, all 1,000 of them, like I said, it's more than 1,000, it's slightly more than 1,100 even. So the first thing that it says is that the tiruvAimozhi verses are like Tamil Veda verses. They're about 1,000 in number, and they're about the Sri Rangam Perumal. And of course, it talks about the glory of the city of Sri Rangam itself. And then these were delivered by Shatagopan, Sri Shatagopan, and it refers to Sri Shatagopan as their first mother, the birth mother, if you will. So Sri Shatagopan, which is another name for Sri nammAzhvAr, he is the first mother, is the birth mother of this tiruvAimozhi. And then, however, the one who nourished them, the one who nurtured them, that foster mother, just like Yashoda gets the credit for bringing up Lord Krishna, that credit goes to Bhagavat Ramanuja. Okay, so that's the claim. I think this comment I've already explained. It'll go on to say that this whole tiruvAimozhi is about Sri Rangam Perumal, and in reality, only one tiruvAimozhi Padigam is about Sri Rangam. Still, Arangan is a manifestation of Emperuman, so who is praised in the entire tiruvAimozhi. So this kind of hyperbole is fine. Okay, so let's go through the words of this Tanyan. Van Tigarum Solai, Madhur Arangar Van Pugar Male. Arangar, that's the Ranganatha. Madhur Arangar, Madhur means rampart. So the rampart surrounded Ranganatha. And it also talks about Solai, or gardens in Sri Rangam. And how beautiful are the gardens, how glorious are the gardens. Van Tigarum Solai. So it is Akasam Varakkum Uyarndu Valandirukkum Marangal Udaya Solai. So a garden filled with sky-high trees. So that's what it means. So it talks about the glory of Sri Rangam, and then it says the Ranganatha, who is resident in this city, Avarudaya Van Pugar Male. Okay, so Avarudaya Van Pugar, Van means wonderful, Pugar means glory. So on his wonderful glory, Andra means splendid, Tamil Maraigal Ayiramum. Maraigal means Vedas. Tamil Marai means it refers to tiruvAimozhi. Ayiramum refers to the number of pasurams, the 1,000 verses of tiruvAimozhi, 1,000 plus verses of tiruvAimozhi. So it says here the 1,000 splendid Veda equivalent verses in Tamil of tiruvAimozhi. They're all about the glory of Tiruvarangan, of Ranganatha. And these pasurams were given birth to. Indra means given birth to. Indra Mudaltai Shatagopan. The first mother is Shatagopan. He's the one who gave birth to these 1,000 verses. However, Moimpal Valatta means the one who nourished and nurtured them, these 1,000 verses of tiruvAimozhi. that idatta means foster mother. So as contrasted with the birth mother, who is Mudaltai, the foster mother is Ramanujan. So that foster mother is Bhagavat Ramanuja. Okay. Now the question is, in what way does Bhagavat Ramanuja deserves credit for being called the foster mother of tiruvAimozhi? So that is explained here. Bhagavat Ramanuja did a lot of things for tiruvAimozhi. So one of the legends that you may have heard is that Bhagavat Ramanuja had many acharyas, and one of them, the Manasika Acharya, was Sri Alavandar. But really, Bhagavat Ramanuja, when he tried to go and meet Sri Alavandar had just entered Paramapadam, but apparently there were three fingers that were closed, and so there were the three things that he wanted, Sri Alavandar apparently wanted, that required vows to be taken by Bhagavat Ramanuja. And so one was to write the commentary of Brahma Sutras. Another one was to perpetuate the names of Vyasa and Parasara. In fact, that's one of the reasons why Kuratarman's son is called Parasara Bhattar. And so that was also part of Emperumanar fulfilling his vows to Sri Alavandar. And there was a third one, which was about perpetuating the glory or spreading the glory of Sri nammAzhvAr's of pAsurams, particularly tiruvAimozhi. So now you will see that he did that in various ways. So remember, so that was one of his three vows to Sri Alavandar. And so he arranged, Bhagavat Ramanuja arranged for tiruvAimozhi Vyakhyanam to be written by Tirukkurugai Piran Pillan. So one of his disciples, he wrote the very first Vyakhyanam of tiruvAimozhi. tiruvAimozhi is one of the most commented Prabandhams among the Divya Prabandhams. There are at least 5 classical Vyakhyanams. They are often denoted by how long they are. For example, there is an Arairapadi, the 6,000 measure Vyakhyanam. There's a 9,000 measure. There's a 12,000 measure. There's a 24,000 measure. There's a 36,000 measure. But the very first one, the 6,000 measure, Arairapadi Vyakhyanam, that was written by Tirukkurugai Piran Pillan at the initiation of Bhagavat Ramanuja. Now, so in that sense, so that was one of the things that Bhagavat Ramanuja did to fulfill his vow taken toward Sri Alavandar. Now, the question arises as to why Bhagavat Ramanuja himself did not write the Vyakhyanam for tiruvAimozhi. And apparently that question was asked of Bhagavat Ramanuja himself. And according to legends, the answer he gave was very illuminating. He said, if I wrote the Vyakhyanam for tiruvAimozhi, then out of Guru Bhakti, nobody else would write any more commentary on tiruvAimozhi, because they would say, no, it would be an apacharam to write another commentary after Sri Ramanuja, Bhagavat Ramanuja has already spoken on tiruvAimozhi. And he said that tiruvAimozhi is so rich that it deserves multiple Vyakhyanams, and therefore, instead of his writing the Vyakhyanam, he was going to ask one of his disciples, in this case, the Tirukkurugai Piran Pillan, to write it. So that's a very beautiful answer. Anyway, so that's one of the reason that he did not write the Vyakhyanam himself, but he made sure that the vow that he had taken was fulfilled, even if it was by one of his disciples. But he also arranged for discourses to be given on tiruvAimozhi, and he also arranged for temple rituals to incorporate tiruvAimozhi as well. So that's the reason that Bhagavat Ramanuja is referred to as the foster mother of tiruvAimozhi, just as Yashoda gets a lot of credit for bringing up Sri Krishna. Okay, so let me briefly chant it or help you chant it. And so, as usual, I will chant each phrase once. And the second time I chant it, you can chant along with me, keeping yourself muted. Vantigaram solai, Vantigaram solai, Madilarangar vanpugar mel, Madilarangar vanpugar mel, Andhra Tamil Maraigal Ayiramum, Andhra Tamil Maraigal Ayiramum, Indra Mudal Tai Shatakopan, Indra Mudal Tai Shatakopan, Moinpal Valartha, Moinpal Valartha, Idattai Ramanujan, Idattai Ramanujan. So isn't it wonderful that around the time of Bhagavat Ramanuja Jayanti, we get to celebrate him, his glory, by covering two Tanyans about him. So the first one was a Sanskrit Tanyan that we saw among Padu Tanyans, and the second one is a Tamil Tanyan among the tiruvAimozhi Tanyans. Okay, so this is tiruvAimozhi Tanyan number 5. You will get a chance to chant it later today after I've covered the pAsuram as well. So now we go on to the 6th tiruvAimozhi Tanyan. Now the 6th tiruvAimozhi Tanyan, to explain its meaning, there's a little bit of philosophy that I need to cover. So I'll briefly mention that. So there is something in Sri Vaishnavism called Artha Panchakam. So Panchakam means the 5 things. Artha means, Artha has multiple meanings in Sanskrit. One of them is meaning, that's what Artha means. Another meaning is wealth, for example, Artham, Anartham, for example. So anyway, so you can think of it loosely as Artha Panchakam means that there are 5 valuable things, 5 treasured things, if you will. So there are 5 things that Sri Vaishnavas are supposed to know about. They're supposed to know the nature of these 5 things. For example, there is this thing called Jivatma. So if you take us, for example, the real us is not the body that we all see. It's not our body. It's not our mind. It's not our intellect. It's that thing called Jivatma that is embodied in our shariram. So that is, the Jivatma is one of those 5 things. And then there is also the Paramatma, the Emperor who resides in Paramapadam. So the Paramatma is one of those 5 things that we are supposed to know about. And what are the other things? Well, we Jivatmas are on a journey. That's why this arrow is going from left to right, going from the Jivatma to the Paramatma. So we are on a journey, and our destination is Paramatma in Paramapadam. And so the question is, what is the upayam? What is the means that will take us there? What is that SUV that will take us from where we are today to Paramapadam? So that SUV is called upayam. And of course, on the way to that destination, there will be many obstacles. And those obstacles are symbolically represented by these various hills. And they are referred to as virodhi. Virodhi means enemy, as you know, or more generally obstacles, the things that will prevent us or could potentially prevent us from reaching Paramapadam. So that's one of the 5 things. And then there's the 5th thing, which is assuming that we do get to Paramapadam, assuming that we do reach Paramatma, what are we going to do there? So that's called prapyam. What is the palan? What is the benefit that we will get by getting there? So those are the 5 things that we are supposed to know about. And so each one of them has a nature associated with it. In Sanskrit, that's called svarupam. For example, the Jivatma, our nature is this. Our nature is, we are not our body, and we are servants. We don't have independence of our own. We don't have swatantram. So in that sense, Paramatma, however, has full swatantram. He can do whatever he wants. We, however, are not able to do whatever we want. Okay, so that's, in that sense, we don't have the swatantram, and we are the seshas. We are the servants. So that's the nature of Jivatma. Okay, so by the nature, we are talking about the attributes of the Jivatma. So that's one of the 5 things that we are supposed to know. So we know what Jivatma is, and the attributes of the Jivatma are things like, we are not our body, we are not our mind, we are not our intellect, we are seshas, we are servants to Emperor. And so that's what the nature of Jivatma is. So eventually you see that the claim is that tiruvAimozhi tells us about all of these things. It teaches us all these 5 things and what their nature is. And in that sense, tiruvAimozhi is considered as holding, or as being an embodiment of all these important philosophical things that we Sri Vaishnavas are supposed to know. And similarly, what are the attributes? What is the nature of Paramatma? Well, the nature of Paramatma is that he is our boss. He is our master, if you will. And of course, he is in Paramapadam. And he has Sarva Tantra. He has a Sarva Tantra Swatantram. That is, he can do anything that he wants. And he is our master. So that's the nature of Paramatma. What is the nature of Upayam? So what is the nature of Upayam? What exactly will get us to our destination? Well, there are various margams that are indicated in Bhagavad Gita, for example, things like Karma Yogam, Jnana Yogam, Bhakti Yogam, and then there is this all-important thing called Prapatti or Sharanagati. So the general consensus is that the first three things that are mentioned, the Karma Yogam, Jnana Yogam, Bhakti Yogam, etc., those are very, very difficult to practice for mortals like us. So the thing that is easiest for us to practice is Prapatti or Sharanagati. And so in that sense, that is the best upayam, the best means to reach our destination, Paramatma. So that also is something that comes out of tiruvAimozhi. So the nature of the upayam, namely that Sharanagati is the best way to achieve our goal, that also comes through in tiruvAimozhi. And then tiruvAimozhi also talks about virodhi, the thing that could prevent us from reaching our destination. Well, what are those things? So for example, our karma, our bad karma from the past births, that could be a virodhi. So if you have accumulated a lot of sins, that could be in our way. It could also be bad knowledge or incorrect knowledge. For example, if we equated us to our shariram, then of course that's not the real we, that's not the real us. So that is such poor knowledge or bad knowledge or incorrect knowledge, that is a virodhi itself. And then being a slave of our sense organs, that is a virodhi as well. Being crazy about material wealth, that is a virodhi as well. So there are many, many virodhis, many things that could prevent us from getting to this destination. And all of those are also brought out in tiruvAimozhi as well. And then prapyam, what is the thing? What is the palan? What is it that we will do once we get to our destination? And the answer is, of course, it will be eternal kainkariam to Sriyapati, the Emperman with Sri Devi. So that is what the nature of this prapya, that is what the prapya swarupam is. Swarupam means nature. And that also is brought out in tiruvAimozhi. So the Taniyan that we are going to say, essentially will say that the tiruvAimozhi teaches us the Artha Panchakam. It talks about the 5 important things and their nature, their swarupams, the Jivatma swarupam, the Paramatma swarupam, the Upaya swarupam, the Virodhi swarupam, and the Prapya swarupam. Okay? So anyways, that's a slight departure, slight detour to teach a little bit of philosophy so that you can understand this particular Taniyan. So this Taniyan is composed also by Parasara Bhattar, and that's the son of Kuratarwan. So it goes something like this. The supreme, let me read the meaning in English. So there you'll see 5 different colors here, the blue here, the green here, this purple, the red, and this brown color, etc. So these are the 5 elements of this Artha Panchakam that I talked about. And essentially the Taniyan will say that all of those, the 5 things and their nature, their swarupams, are taught by this tiruvAimozhi. So that's how it glorifies tiruvAimozhi. So it says the supreme Paramatma swarupam, that is the swarupam of Paramatma, namely that he is our master and he has full swatantram, etc. So that those kinds of things are taught by tiruvAimozhi. And the eternal Jivatma swarupam. Jivatma is eternal. Of course, our lives are not eternal, but the Jivatma is, of course, eternal. It goes on, it lives on forever. And the swarupam of that Jivatma, the nature of that Jivatma, that is also taught by tiruvAimozhi. And the proper upayam means to our destination, which is liberation. So the proper upayam, that's also, that's a third thing that is also covered by tiruvAimozhi. And the obstacle that shadows us closely and hinders us, like karma, those are also brought out very well in tiruvAimozhi. And finally, our life in Paramapadam, that is the Prapya Swarupam, what will we do once we get there. So that fifth Swarupam, the Prapya Swarupam, that is also covered by tiruvAimozhi. So it goes on to say all of these are taught by the Lord of Tirukkurugai residents. Tirukkurugai is Arvar Tirunagari. The Lord of Tirukkurugai is nammAzhvAr, Sri nammAzhvAr. And so all of these are taught by the Lord of Tirukkurugai residents, namely nammAzhvAr. And the sweet music of his metaphorical yar is the Vedas. That is essentially his metaphorical yar. You can think of it as tiruvAimozhi. And the sweet music of tiruvAimozhi is nothing but the Vedas. Okay, so that's what it essentially says. And the things that you see here are all the explanation that I provided with the help of the previous slide. So let's read the Tamil Tanyan. Mikka Irai Nilayum. So Mikka means the supreme. So supreme Irai Nilayam. Irai of course means Iraivan. Paramatma. Nilay means Swarupam. So the supreme Paramatma Swarupam. And Meyyam Uyir Nilayam. Uyir here refers to Jivatma, not the life in this material body. The Uyir refers to the Jivatma. Uyir Nilay, the Jivatma Swarupam. Meyyam. Meyyam means eternal. Okay, so in other words, it is real. The Jivatma is real. Real as in it's not transient. The Jivatma is eternal. So Meyyam means eternal. So the eternal Jivatma's Swarupam. So these are covered, these are explained in tiruvAimozhi. Takka means proper. Neri means the path, the means. So that's the upayam. So the proper upayam to getting to our destination, which is liberation, that is also covered by tiruvAimozhi. And then Tadayagi Tokkiyalum Urvinayum. So that is one full phrase as far as referring to the fourth element of this Artha Panchakam is Tadayagi. So Tadai, as you know, means obstacle. So that is the Virodhi. Tadayagi Tokkiyalum. That's what shadows us very closely. Urvinay. Urvinay specifically refers to our karma. And we might think of it as bad karma. So the bad karma that shadows us closely, that is a big obstacle. That's not the only obstacle, but so that it's just a kind of a proxy for all the obstacles. So it talks about, tiruvAimozhi talks about that as well. And then Var Vinayam, that is, Varvu means your final life after you have reached Paramapadam. Varvu means life. So it refers to the Paramapadam, the life in Paramapadam, Var Vinayam. So that Varvu, that life also, tiruvAimozhi talks about that, the life in Paramapadam. Odum means, it talks about it. Odum means it is covered by, it is said by Kurugayar Kon, the Lord of Tirukkurugur residents, that is nammAzhvAr, and his Yarin Isai, so his metaphorical Yar music, that is the music of tiruvAimozhi, is Vedattiyal. So it is the equivalent of Vedas. Okay. So the point is, tiruvAimozhi teaches us all those 5 important things. It is important for us to know what our nature is, what Paramatma's nature is, what the upayam is, what the obstacles are, and what we will do when we get to Paramapadam. Because if we don't know that, then we will not be able to get to Paramapadam. For example, if I don't know what the obstacles are, if I don't know, for example, that the sense organs that constantly entertaining our sense organs will come in the way of getting to Paramapadam, then we will continue to entertain our sense organs, right? So in that sense, it is very important for us to know the nature of these 5 things so that we can get to Paramapadam. Okay, so anyway, so all of these 5 things are taught by tiruvAimozhi. And that phrase there, the Artha Panchakam, is a very important one in Sri Vaishnavite vocabulary. So you should probably try to learn that. Okay, let me just try to chant it. Mikka Irai Nilayum, Mikka Irai Nilayum, Meyyam Uyir Nilayum, Meyyam Uyir Nilayum, Takkaneriyum, Takkaneriyum, Tadayagi Tokkiyalum, Tadayagi Tokkiyalum, Urvinayum Varvinayum, Urvinayum Varvinayum, Odum Kurugayar Kon, Odum Kurugayar Kon, Yarin Isai Vedattiyal, Yarin Isai Vedatiyau. So what I will do is I'll give you a chance to chant these 6 tiruvAimozhi Tanyans after I have covered the one remaining pAsuram. And at that point, you will be able to chant the whole thing, namely all the way from the tiruvAimozhi Tanyans through all the 11 pAsurams. Okay, let me go to the last pAsuram, the pAsuram number 11. Okay, so this is the only pAsuram remaining. We have covered all the substantive pAsurams of this tiruvAimozhi. Now, in this pAsuram, which is Phalashruti, what do you get by chanting this tiruvAimozhi Padigam? Like I said, you shouldn't really have to depend on a Phalashruti to know that this is worth chanting. But all the same, Sri nammAzhvAr tells you what you will get as a result of chanting this Padigam. Now, this particular verse, this particular pAsuram, pAsuram number 11, is different from all the previous 10 pAsurams in the following sense. Here, he talks in his own voice. Remember that this whole Padigam, there is a pAsurams 1 through 10, are in Nayika Bhavam, so where Sri nammAzhvAr takes the role of Parankusha Nayaki, so a Nayaki who is in love with Emperuman, and this Nayaki is in considerable virahatapam, and so we saw the anguish of this Parankusha Nayaki in the first 10 verses. However, when it comes to the 11th verse, Sri nammAzhvAr returns to being himself. So this particular pAsuram is in his own voice. Okay, so now he's going to say essentially that Bhagavan Krishna, so Bhagavan Krishna has limitless glory, and he's also the Lord of the people of the 7 worlds. Okay, so these are 7 worlds denizens. So he first describes Lord Krishna by saying he has limitless glory, and he's the 7 worlds denizens. Denizens means residents, Lord. So that is what Krishna is. And then effectively, the next thing he's going to say is that about that Krishna, this tiruvAimozhi talks about that particular Krishna. And then, so of course, that tiruvAimozhi was composed by him. So he talks about his own hometown, Tirukkurugur. So he says, the beautiful Tirukkurugur, which is surrounded by fertile fields, its Satakopan, so its Satakopan, the Satakopan belonging to that Tirukkurugur, uttered with love about that Krishna, the Krishna that was described in line number 1 here. So uttered with love about that Krishna, this Antadi, remember that tiruvAimozhi itself is an Antadi. So that Antadi is of limitless glory. So that the limitless glory appears twice in this pAsuram. One is the Emperuman himself has limitless glory. And then, of course, the tiruvAimozhi, to match the Emperuman, also is of limitless glory. So that's what Sri nammAzhvAr says about tiruvAimozhi. So this Antadi of limitless glory, so from those 1,000 verses, so that there is tiruvAimozhi itself has 1,000 verses, but out of those, these 10 verses of this Padigam, so if you recite their beautiful words, you can get the bhagyam of eternal Kainkaryam in Paramapadam. Okay, so Emperuman has limitless glory, he's the Lord of the 7 worlds, and then this Shatakopan of beautiful Tirukkurugur that is surrounded by fertile fields, he has uttered with love about that Lord Krishna talked about in the first line. And what exactly did he utter with love? What he uttered with love is in fact this tiruvAimozhi, this Antadi of limitless glory, which has 1,000 verses. Of those 1,000 verses, the 10 verses of this Padigam, by reciting their beautiful words, one can get the bhagyam of eternal Kainkaryam in Paramapadam. And that, of course, is our ultimate destination. So that's a very good motivation, very good reason to chant this Padigam. Okay, so let's go through the Tamil words and understand them. அளவு இயன்ற ஏழ் உலகத்தவர் பெருமான் So first is alavu endra. Alavu endra mean alavu kadanda pugaludaya. So one who has limitless glory. That's what the alavu endra means. So that pugal is kind of missing. It's implicit in this. Alavu endra pugaludaya Peruman Kannanai. And then also ஏழ் உலகத்தவர் பெருமான் கண்ணனை. So the ஏழ் உலகத்தவர், the people who live in these 7 worlds, their Peruman, their Lord Kannanai. So that Peruman, Lord Krishna, on him. Bala Vayal Sur Van Kurugur Shatagopan. Shatagopan is Sri nammAzhvAr. Kurugur Shatagopan, the Shatagopan of Tirukurugur or Arvad Tirunagari. Van Kurugur, beautiful Tirukurugur. And it is surrounded by vayal. Vayals are fields or paddy fields in general, specifically vayal sur. So sur means surrounded by. Bala vayal sur. Bala means very fertile paddy fields surrounded by them. Beautiful Tirukurugur Shatagopan. Vaindu uraitha. Vaindu means with love. Uraitha, he said. So uttered. So uttered with love by that Shatagopan. That alavu iyendra antadi, just like this alavu iyendra, this also means alavu kadanda pugaludaya. So it is one with limitless glory, namely this antadi. Ayirathul, this antadi has 1,000 verses in it, actually 1,100 plus verses in it. And out of those, ippattin, these 10 verses, these 10 pasurams, valavurayal. So by reciting their beautiful words, valavurayal, by reciting their beautiful words, peralagum, nam peralam, that is we can receive, we can obtain, van ong peruvalame. So the bhagyam of doing eternal kainkariam in the upper world, in Paramapadam. Okay, so that's what it means. And again, let me talk about how to chant it. Alaviyandrayel ulagattavar, அளவியன்றையேழ் உலகத்தவர் பெருமான் கண்ணனை வளவயல் சூழ்வன்குருகூர் ஷடகோபன் வாய்ந்துரைத்த அளவியன்ற அந்தாதி ஆயிரத்துளிப்பத்தின் வளவுரையால் பெறலாகும் வானோங்கு பெருவளமே. Okay, so that was the 11th and final pasuram, the Palastuti pasuram. So let me say a few concluding things about this whole padigam, and then we will chant the 6 tiruvAimozhi Thaniyans and the 11 pasurams all in one sequence. Okay. So anyway, so the concluding notes are kind of a reiteration of what I have said at the beginning. But now that you have seen the meaning of the pasurams, that you can relate to them much better. The first thing you will notice, the first thing that is most obvious to you, is that this whole padigam is a very heart-rending catharsis of this Parankusha Nayaki. So you heard her very soulful anguish throughout the first 10 padigams, and that is supposed to be the haunting cry of the Jivatma for union with the Paramatma. By the way, this union here is not in the Advaitic sense of the Jivatma being the same as the Paramatma. No, it is in the Visishtadvaitic sense. Jivatma is different from the Paramatma. But here when we talk about union, we are talking about getting to Paramapadam and then doing eternal kainkariam to Paramatma. Okay, so the haunting cry of the Jivatma for union with the Paramatma. And then obviously, so this chanting gives you solace by essentially unburdening yourself. Because the kind of sentiments that Parankusha Nayaki expresses in this padigam are sentiments that we can all very easily relate to. They resonate with us very strongly because she feels alone. She feels the pain of separation from Emperuman. So I mean, we just want to reiterate some of those phrases. She says, for example, Ahalvaduvo vidiyiname. So he says, oh Lord, you're being separated from me. Is that my destiny? Ahalvaduvo vidiyiname. That's very heartrending. For you to be perpetually separated from me, is that going to be my destiny forever? Valvinaye malado. Valvinay, my bad karma, malado, will it never cease? That's very, very touching. Valvinaye malado. Yenpiraye ninaindarili. The Lord is always thinking about my sins. But what I want him to do is to redeem me. So that's essentially what she is saying. And then nannirmai ini avargan tangadu endru, go and tell him that her good life, nannirmai ini avargan, hereafter will not stay with her anymore. Give him that very final message to him. That again is very heartrending. And then she draws a powerful analogy with the landscape that surrounds her. Malgunir punarpadappai iraidevan siruguruge. Malgunir kannirku or vasagam kondu arulaye. She says the land surrounding me, which is at Neidal Nilam, the land of seas, oceans, and the land surrounding the oceans, like the backwaters and marshes and so on. And so the landscape around me is filled with water. And similarly, my own eyes, Malgunir Kannir, my eyes are filled with water as well. So did you see that the similarity between the two? So to this teary-eyed damsel, won't you bring one comforting word? All I want from you, from Emperman, all I want you to bring from Emperman is one comforting word that he is going to bless me. Or Vasagam Kundu Arulaye. That's just very, very, very touching to me. And then she says, Nalgattan Ahado. The Ahado is a very powerful word. In our homes, we say that we use the word Ahadu to refer to things that are forbidden by Shastras. For example, we say that chatta odane kulika kudade. So we say, for example, after you have eaten, you should not immediately have a shower because that is forbidden by Shastras. Adu agadu. And here what she is saying is, does your Shastra, she says to Emperuman, does your Shastra say that it is wrong for you to come near me? Nalhattan ahado. Is it written in the Shastras that you cannot come near me? It's very, it's in a very pathetic condition. And then finally she asks, Yen pirektal tiruvadiyin thagavanukku. What great offense has this Parankusha Nayaki done to the great Dayagunam of the Emperuman? Please go and find out. Yen pirektal tiruvadiyin thagavanukku uruvaichul. En pirekkum ilangiliye yan valartha neelaye. Naan valartha kili allavani. எனக்காக இந்த ஒரு உதவி பண்ண மாட்டாயா? You are a parrot brought up by me. Won't you be able to do this one favor for me? Okay. So all of these we will be able to relate to very easily, because at various times in our lives we have found ourselves in that situation. We think we have been good all of our lives, but still so many bad things happen to us, and which we cannot explain. So sometimes the only explanation we can think of is that Emperuman has neglected us. So we have been in this situation. We like to wallow in that kind of self-pity. So certainly, I think you should chant this padiyam when you want to unburden yourself, because certainly Parankusha Nayaki has given you ample expressions with which to unburden your sorrows. And so certainly that's one good thing to do. But what I will ask you to do is to not remain and wallowing in that self-pity, because swallowing in self-pity is something that we all do very easily when nobody has to teach us that. There's a movie called Mudal Maryadai, for example. There's one particular song that also illustrates this idea, that the hero there, which is Shivaji Ganesan, it happens to be Shivaji Ganesan, but anyway, so he wallows in self-pity, so he says things like, Mettavangine Thukattai Vangale, which means I brought a mattress, but I couldn't buy sleep, for example. That's wallowing in self-pity. And then he says, Edo en paattukku naan paattu paadi, sollada sogattai sonnenadi. Naan paattu edo or paattu paadikondu, என்னுடைய சொல்ல முடியாத சோகத்தை எல்லாம் சொல்லிக் கொண்டிருக்கிறேன் என்று. That is, without bothering anyone else. I'm just singing a song. I'm just singing a song of my soulful anguish. That's what he sings. But then the most interesting thing is the response that she gets from the heroine of that movie. And these are very short but beautiful words. She says, Sukha ragam sogam dhane. Sukha ragam sogam dhane. Sogam, the sadness, it's a very comforting ragam, isn't it? That is, we all like to wallow in self-pity and find comfort in it, right? Isn't it? So get out of it. That's effectively, even though she doesn't say that explicitly, that is the implied message. Sukharagam sogam dhane. So I think what we need to do is, you should certainly chant this padigam to give vent to any anguish that you have. However, do not remain in that feeling of self-pity throughout, because the message that underlies this most obvious sentiment of this padigam, the most obvious sentiment is that catharsis, but the thing that underlies it is the kshama. Kshama is Emperuman's tolerance, the fact that he will forgive us if we surrender. So there are several places in it where this is perhaps more subtly indicated, unlike this haunting cry for union, which is very explicitly indicated. Emperuman's forgiveness is indicated perhaps a little bit more subtly. She says, Arul Ari Ammanai Kandakal. So Arul means, so that the Daya, ocean of mercy, Emperuman, the one who is chakra wielding, if you see him, tell him this, right? So he is merciful. He is as an ocean of mercy. And so that message you should keep in mind. And then also there are phrases like Nalgittan Kathalikum Purilerum Vinayerke. That is, Emperuman has created these 7 worlds, and he Kathu, protecting, and Alikum, he provides for those 7 worlds. Now, does he do that out of duty, just because it's duty, not because he really wants to do it? No, Parankusha Nayaki says, Nalgittan Kathalikum. He does that of his own volition. He does that because he wants to do that. Nalgittan Kathalikum. So, okay, so that's something you should remember. So the fact that he does it not out of a sense of duty, but because he wants to do it, he wants to protect us, he wants to provide for us, etc., that itself is an indication of his mercy. And similarly, when she refers to this Vamana Trivikrama Avataram, she says, Madinal Kuralmanai Ulagiranda Kalvarku. That's a subtle indication that Emperuman did the most merciful thing for Mahabali. He could have killed him, like he killed, say, Hiranyakashipu or Shishupala, for example, but he didn't do that. He instead went and begged. And what did he beg? He begged for the worlds that he had himself created, that he begged for his own property, right? So in that sense, he is merciful. He didn't do a terrible thing to Mahabali. He did still, grace him. So these are all subtle expressions in this padigam, and you should, catch hold of them and let them remind you that he will forgive us if we surrender. In fact, I would like to bring your attention to some words that tiruvAimozhi says in his Tiruchanda Viruddham. I didn't have space to put it there. So he says, let me first give the meaning, let me paraphrase the meaning. He says, I've heard through grapevine that you have done a couple nice things to a couple of people who were terrible to you. One was Shishupalan, who abused you 100 times, not once or twice or 3 times or 4 times. He abused you 100 times before you decided to kill him. So in that sense, and not only that, I hear through this grapevine that you finally gave him moksha. So that's one example that tiruvAimozhi is using against him. And then he also says, even Vali, you fought a battle with Vali, and I'm not as bad as Vali, I'm not fighting you, but you fought Vali, and still you gave him moksham. At least that's what I hear through the grapevine. And so if you can give moksham to these 2 people who were not exactly very friendly to you, can't you take all the terrible things that I do as good things, or at least innocently done bad things? So he says, Vaidu Ninnai Vallava Padittavarkum. That is Vallava, Vaidu Ninnai Padittavarkum. Unnai Vaidu, Unnai abuse, the one who abused you, Unnai Padittavan, the one who verbally abused you, that's Shishupalan. And Maril Por Seidu Ninnai Setrathiyil Vandavarkum. that refers to Vali. When Por Seidu Vandavar, Tiyil Vandavar. So he battled you and got burnt in a fire. And of course, the fire is a metaphorical fire. Tiyil Vandavarkum. Vandu Unne Eidalahum Enber. I hear through grapevine that even these two people are able to reach you. Adalal Yamaya Nayinen. He refers to himself as Nayinen, as nothing but more than a dog on a street. Adalal Yamaya, O wonderful Lord. Seida Kutram Natramagave Kol Nyalanathane. O Nyalanathane, O Lord of this universe. Seida Kutram Natramagave Kol. All the bad things that I have done, Kutram Natramagave Kol. Take them as good. Because whatever I did, it cannot be as bad as this Shishupal and Vali. So anyway, so Emperman has Kshama, because just from the example of the Shishupal and Vali, for example, and therefore we should keep that in mind and not let ourselves wallow in that self-pity forever. So we should just remember that he tested even great souls like Paramkrishna Nayaki, so we just need to be patient. And his karuna may not be measured by what we see happening to us in this life, but ultimately is measured by the gift of liberation, which we cannot see. When we are not going to know that, yes, we are going to get this gift of liberation eventually. So let's give him the benefit of doubt. And the Padiyam also indirectly says that Acharyan is a bridge to Emperuman. All the things that Paramkrishna Nayaki tries to send as her messenger, they are essentially meant to be acharyans. So let us also seek the grace of an acharyan. And then, just from a purely secular sense, this tiruvAimozhi is really poetry at its best. So there are places where the Arvar has used, has played on the words. Enbirai ko podubola panivada irhindra, that enbu irai, that refers, the enbu refers to the bone, for example. Later, Enpirai refers to my sins, etc. So he's very good. In a secular sense, nammAzhvAr is very good. He has a very good command of the word, Tamil words. And also, I would say, among all the Divya Prabandhams, tiruvAimozhi probably has the highest density of information. So that's how good he is with words, okay? And having said that, I will conclude by saying, Sri nammAzhvAr, Tiruvadigalai Sharanam. So at this point, I'm going to go back to the Taniyans. So I'm going to go back to the tiruvAimozhi Taniyans. And then I'm also going to play the audio. So you will be able to chant the 6 tiruvAimozhi Taniyans and the 11 pasurams of tiruvAimozhi in one long sequence. And I know that many of you enjoy chanting. So please use this as a very good opportunity to chant, okay? Okay, so here we go.
Bhaktamrudam Vishvajananumodhanam Sarvarthadam Sri Shatakopavangmayam Sahasra Shakopanishad Samagamam Namamyaham Dravida Veda Sagaram Tiruvazhinadendrum Tenguruhurendrum Maruviniyavan Porunalendrum Arumaregal Andadi Seidan Adiyinaye Eppozhudum Chindiyai Nenge Telinde Manattalum Vayalum Vankuruhur Penum Inattarayalladiranje Danattalum Yedum Kuraivilen Endai Shatakopan Padangal Yamudayapatru Einda Perungirti Ramanusamunidan Vainda Malarpadam Vananguகின்றேன் ஆய்ந்த பெரும் சீரார் ஷடகோபன் செந்தமிழ் வேதம் தரிக்கும் பேராத உள்ளம் பெற வாந்திகழும் சோலை மதிளரங்கர் வண்புகழ் மேல் ஆகன்ற தமிழ் மறைகளாயிரமும் ஈன்ற முதல் தாய் சடகோபன் மொயம்பால் வளர்த்த இதத்தாய் ராமானுசன் மிக்க இறை நிலையும் மெய்யாம் உயிர் நிலையும் தக்க நெறியும் தடையாகித் தொக்கியலும் ஊழ்வினையும் வாழ்வினையும் ஓதும் குறுகையர்கோன் யாழின் இசைவேதத்தியல் அஞ்சிறைய மடனாராய் அழியத்தாய் நீயும் நின் அஞ்சிறைய சேவலுமாய் ஆவா என்றெனக் கருளி வெஞ்சிறை புள்ளுயர்த்தார்க்கு என் விடுதூதாய் சென்ற கால் வன்சிறையில் அவன் வைக்கும் வைப்புண்டால் என் செய்யுமோ அஞ்சிறைய மடனாராய் அழியத்தாய் நீயும் நின் அஞ்சிறைய சேவலுமாய் ஆவா என்றெனக் கருளி வெஞ்சிறை புள்ளுயர்த்தார்க்கு என் விடுதூதாய் சென்ற கால் வன்சிறையில் அவன் வைக்கும் வைப்புண்டால் என் செய்யுமோ என் செய்ய தாமரைக்கண் பெருமானார்க்கென் தூதாய் என் செய்யும் உரைத்தக்கால் இனக்குயில்காள் நீரலிரே முன் செய்த முழுவினையால் திருவடி கீழ் குற்றேவல் முன் செய்ய முயலாதேன் அகல்வதுவோ விதியினமே விதியினால் பெடை மணக்கும் மென்னடைய அன்னங்காள் மதியினால் குரல் மானாய் உலகிறந்தகழ்வர்க்கு மதியிலேன் வல்வினையே மாளாதோ என்றொருத்தி மதியெல்லாம் உள்கலங்கி மயங்குமால் எண்ணீரே எண்ணீர்மை கண்டிறங்கி இது தகாதென்னாத என் நீலமுகில் வண்ணர்க்கு என் சொலியான் சொல்லுகேனோ நன்னீர்மை இனி அவர்கள் தங்காதென்றொருவாய் சொல் நன்னீல மகன்றில்காள் நல்குதிரோ நல்கீரோ நல்கித்தான் காத்தளிக்கும் பொழிலேழும் வினையேற்கே நல்கத்தானாகாதோ நாரணனை கண்ட கால் மல்கு நீர் புனர்படப்பை இறைதேர்வன் சிறுகுருகே மல்கு நீர் கண்ணேற்கு ஓர் வாசகம் கொண்டருளாயே அருளாத நீர் அருளி அவராவி துவராமுன் அருளாழி புட்கடவீர் அவர் வீதி ஒரு நாளென்று அருளாழியம்மானை கண்ட கால் இது சொல்லி அருளாழி வரி வண்டே யாமும் என் பிழைத்தோமே என் பிழை கோப்பது போல பனிவாடை ஈர்கின்ற என் பிழையே நினைந்தருளி அருளாத திருமாலார்க்கு என் பிழைத்தாள் திருவடியின் தகவினுக்கென்றொருவாய் சொல் என் பிழைக்கும் இளங்கிளியே யான் வளர்த்த நீயலையே நீயலையே சிறு பூவாய் நெடுமாலார்க்கென் தூதாய் நோய் எனது நுவலென்ன நுவலாதே இருந்தொழிந்தாய் சாயலொடு மணிமாமை தளர்ந்தேன் நான் இனி உனது வாயலையில் இன்னடிசில் வைப்பாரை நாடாயே நாடாத மலர் நாடி நாள்தோறும் நாரணந்தன் வாடாத மலர் அடிக்கீழ் வைக்கவே வகுக்கின்று வீடாடி வீற்றிருத்தல் வினையற்றதென் செய்வதோ ஊடாடு பணிவாடாய் உரைத்தீராய் எனதுடலே உடலாழி பிறப்பு வீடு உயிர் முதலாமுற்றுமாய் கடலாழி நீர் தோற்றி அதனுள்ளே கண் வளரும் அடலாழியம்மானை கண்டக்கால் இது சொல்லி விடலாழி மட நெஞ்சே வினையோம் ஒன்றாம் அளவே அளவியன்ற ஏழு உலகத்தவர் பெருமான் கண்ணனை வளவயல் சூழ்வன் குருகூர் சடகோபன் வாய்ந்துரைத்த அளவியன்ற அந்தாதி 1010 வளவுரையால் பெறலாகும் வானோங்கு பெருவளமே அளவியன்ற ஏழு உலகத்தவர் பெருமான் கண்ணனை வளவயல் சூழ்வன் குருகூர் சடகோபன் வாய்ந்துரைத்த அளவியன்ற அந்தாதி 1010 வளவுரையால் பெறலாகும் வானோங்கு பெருவளமே.
Okay, I hope that was a very satisfying experience for you, the ability to chant the whole Padigam. I think there was one place where I was a little late in advancing the slide. My sincere apologies for that. Okay, and again, Sri nammAzhvAr tiruvAimozhi Saranam. So with that, we conclude this particular Padigam. So we will conclude with the Charama Slokam and Mangalam, and then after a brief change to the next set of slides, we will continue with the next topic. So you can recite this along with me. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma sujaha mangalam kosalendraya mahaniya gunabdhaye chakravarti tanujaya Sarvabhaumaya Mangalam. So Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. So I'm going to stop the recording.